Another week, another pile-on. Manchester United get a result, dig in under immense pressure, and instead of being allowed to celebrate, we are told that it is embarrassing. Paul Merson, stand by. Jay Bothroyd, stand by. Tim Sherwood, stand by. Jim White, stand by. And any other widge that's been sent to a game to observe a manager like a scout report for 90 minutes, stand by. It's coming your way. Now, you couldn't make it up. But luckily, you don't need to make it up because it is the reality that Manchester United find themselves in. Journalism is in the toilet and punditry is in the toilet, and it's because of journalists and pundits and the way that Manchester United are treated, because it is entirely different. Now, Manchester United do get a victory over Burnley this weekend, 3-2. It was a bit of a scrap and we needed a 97th minute penalty to do it. Now, the performance belies what that scoreline was going into the 90th minute. Wasn't perfect, but a win is a win. And only the week before, the narrative, when Manchester United arguably deserved the win against Arsenal, we were told that only results matter. Forget excuses, forget the style, grind it out, take the points, or the knives come out. Results are the only thing that matters. Well, United got the points, and actually we had the performance to match the point. But the knives came out anyway. Jay Bothroyd, I'm glad you asked who. Because Jay Bothroyd's Premier League expertise, he was basically known as a bit of a striker that jobbed it around the Championship for most of his career. But he did have a bit of a foray when someone made the mistake of signing him to bring him to the Premier League thinking he would score. Now, he amassed a grand total of 2 goals in his best season in the Premier League, 1 in the other seasons in the Premier League, giving him a grand total of 6 Premier League goals in a course of about 60-ish games. So this is a man that knows what he's talking about. This is a man whose career peaked by being part of a squad that won the Intertoto Cup at Perugia all the way back in 2003, I think it might have been. So does he manage? No. Told you. Scored 6 Premier League goals in about 60 games. So this is a man that knows all about embarrassing. He called United's full-time celebrations embarrassing. Embarrassing. A group of players that are under intense pressure, been battered for weeks by all and sundry and their own fan base, the press, the pundits, ex-players, everybody, somehow manage to get a win. And they're not allowed to celebrate a last-minute winner. It's embarrassing celebrating. Meanwhile, Napoli score a last-minute winner and Antonio Conte goes absolutely feral, as only Antonio Conte can do, up and down the touchline. He's praised as being passionate, the very embodiment of a winner. Barcelona, don't know why I'm pointing over there, but Barcelona nick a win, it's over there, right? Nick a win against a newly promoted side in injury time, and then the response are tactical breakdowns about their resilience and what the manager changed to get them over the line to go and get the win against the newly promoted side. United hold on, get the win in the end, not even allowed to smile. The hypocrisy absolutely stinks. Then you've got Tim Sherwood, the man whose managerial record actually makes this really poor record that Ruben Amorim has got look good, because his stint at Villa is actually worse than Ruben Amorim's stint at Manchester United. Now, this walking gilet, the man who once won 3 of his last 19 games, is telling Ruben Amorim how to manage. And his latest pearl of wisdom is that pulling a tactics board out mid-game shows that he says you're not going to find the answers you're looking for looking at a tactics board. Well, maybe you should have tried, our kid. I'm sorry, are you actually trying to say that a football manager giving tactical instructions whilst making substitutions is a bad thing? Meanwhile, Arne Slot did the same this weekend when he was making substitutions and not a peep. What is going on? How do you want managers to effectively communicate the instructions when they're bringing on substitutes, if not for a visual aid like a tactics board? It shows everything about why you've not had another job in the last 10 years, mate. Maybe you should pick up a tactics board. You might learn something. The bias is absolutely crystal clear. When it's Manchester United, the microscope zooms in on irrelevancies. People lost their mind last week because he didn't watch the penalties. Meanwhile, Jurgen Klopp does not watch penalties, right? Famously looks at the crowd. From the tactics board to the gestures to the not watching thing, the optics, everything except context and truth. Now here's a good one. Jim White, who's a United fan, by the way, writes an article about Benjamin Sesko. Right, because I'm sure it's now the time to analyse how Benjamin Sesko has done, considering he hasn't started a single Premier League game yet. And apparently he needs to start scoring goals quickly or he's in danger of becoming more Wout Weghorst than Ruud van Nistelrooy. I'm sorry, what? A young striker that is literally in his first month, not a start to his name in the new league, new teammates, 0 starts, and apparently this is a £74 million panic. Other clubs are allowed to bed their strikers in slowly. Darwin Núñez had a full season of carnage and excuses before people even considered that maybe this guy wasn't up to it. Kai Havertz spent 2 years of being a passenger at Chelsea before anyone thought, he's probably not a number 9, you know. But United, before that he even gets a run out as a starter, he's a dud. Jim, do better, mate. Jim actually deleted the tweet that was promoting that article. Not because the article was wrong or that they took the article down. No, the article's still out there. But because it made him look silly and he was getting pelters for it. That's the level of accountability. Fire the shot, let it ricochet around social media, and then just delete it when you get called out. Paul Merson, pick a lane, you absolute fuckwit. Sneering at United celebration. This is from a man who week in, week out demands togetherness, team spirit and fight, because that's the extent of this fucking idiot's analysis from teams that are under pressure. United show a bit, ridicule. What they're doing. Absolute double standard. Mikel Arteta pulls a fucking light bulb out of his pocket and he's got his cock out for him. They celebrate a last-minute winner and it's hailed as proof of character because that's all this guy knows how to talk about. United celebrate a win and it's open season for snide remarks. United get more noise from winning than others do from losing. Chelsea lose, well, it's about the long-term project. Arsenal lose, well, they're on an upward trajectory. Pep loses, well, he won a treble a couple of years ago. Not forgetting that Pep's had more money than any other coach in the history of football combined. Not forgetting that Pep's been there almost 10 years. It's just an anomaly. Meanwhile, they're below United in the table. The game against Burnley absolutely summed it up. The team's under relentless scrutiny, and for good reason, we haven't been good. But you grind out a messy win against a team that had a ridiculous defence in the Championship last season, amidst the suffocating pressure that we're under. And the narrative's not, okay, job done. And actually, you created a lot of chances, well done. But it's, why are they happy? It's absolutely laughable, honestly. And it's telling. United just aren't held to a higher standard. They are held to a different one altogether. Sherwood's line, Amorim has been given the tools, now he has to deliver. Tools? He's had a new attack signed because the last attack was not fit for purpose. We are still trying to sell half of the players. We don't have a straightforward midfield. The only tools that I could argue that he's trying to replace the goalkeeper, the only tools that I could argue he's got is a functioning defence. The attack still has not had a chance to start a game. One of those signings might have just got injured. So technically, in the game at the weekend, he had one and one off the bench. Yeah, some tools that, mate. You're a fucking tool. How quickly do you want the results? I think we all understand that there has to be progress and deliverance this year. But to ask for it before you've even been able to start your new star striker is mental. Nobody else gets that sort of pressure. United are just a permanent pantomime villain for everyone. It feels like United are always going to get treated entirely differently to everybody else. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, when he came second and third, was told he just had vibes and good feelings. Meanwhile, Mikel Arteta comes second, having spent $1 billion with a B, and no one's demanding that he delivers trophies. Wins don't count the same. Celebrations aren't allowed. Tactics boards are embarrassing. You're not going to find the answers in there. No, you actually find the answers in there. New signings are failures before they've even started a game. And here's the thing. You lot as United fans already know this. You can see the double standards. You can see the selective outrage. You can see the way that United headlines sell more clicks than anybody else combined. We keep getting told that Newcastle are this project that are so well run. They're below us in the table without a fucking win to show for it. And we've played the same. Newly promoted team. We played Burnley, they played Leeds. A title challenger. We played Arsenal, they played Liverpool. Right? And then a top half finish. They played Aston Villa, we played Fulham. Man United should have beaten Arsenal if justice would have been served. We could have been sitting here with 7 points instead of 4. And people would still find a way to have a go at United. But the truth is, it doesn't matter. Nobody cares. Nobody's going to write 1,000 words on why celebrating a win against Burnley is shameful if it's anybody else. Nobody's going to dissect using a tactics board like it's a fucking war crime. Nobody's going to compare the fact that Sesko's not started if it's somebody else. It's absolutely ridiculous. But it's also proof of one thing. We are still the biggest show in town. We always will be. The circus needs its ringmaster. The next time you see an embarrassing celebration, celebrate it harder. The next time someone pulls out Ruben Amorim's tactics board, fucking bring one to the game. Fuck them. We're Manchester United. We do what we want. Any wibble that you see, I want tagging in it. And I'm going to start collating this shit every single week. This is Steve's receipts, and it's my fucking right to reply. Fuck the lot of them. We're Man United. We do what we want. Up the fucking Reds. See you in a bit. Hey, thank you for watching the video. If you are new around these parts, then don't forget to subscribe. My channel is proudly supported by my community on Patreon. If you'd like to get a little bit of extra content, a Discord group, meetups, five-a-side games, weekly podcasts, behind the scenes, and even an occasional bit of transfer news as and when I get it, then for the price of a pint, you can show your appreciation for the content that we make and get some goodies for doing so as well. Check the link in the description or click the button right here. You'll also find all of my socials here too if you want to follow me on any of those platforms. Nice one.